Hi, Triangle Bakery friends. We're going to try something new today. We are I had a friend have a request to just make her a box of samples of different keto-friendly, low-carb, gluten-free treats that Triangle Bakery would offer to the public. That of course, doesn't contain any processed sugars, any like wheat flour, kind of what we specialize in. So what we would consider the healthier alternative for baked goods. So I figured I would show you what we do here and walk you through the process a little bit. So today we are making Lupin flour muffins, but with a little twist. We're gonna make a garlic cheese version of the Lupin flour. All right, so first we're going to start with 3 tablespoons of melted butter, grass-fed butter. That's about a tablespoon and a half of cream cheese. That could have been sour cream. I'm choosing cream cheese today, just out of preference. 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and 2 eggs. As you can already tell, this recipe is about to be high fat, which is more of the keto way of eating, low carb and high fat. Since this is a muffin, what we're going to use as our base is actually going to be Lupin flour. So I'm stepping away for a moment to get my spoon, but we're actually going to add the Lupin flour next. So we're going to do 1 full cup of Lupin flour. And Lupin flour comes from the Lupini bean. The Lupini bean isn't necessarily considered a low-carb item, but interestingly enough, when it turns into Lupin flour, it is actually low-carb, so it's perfect for keto diets, folks that are diabetic and watching their carbs, or people who are gluten-free and that choose not to actually eat wheat flours. So I'm just scraping out the cup to make sure we get the full cup of Lupin flour. And we're going to mix now. As we mix away, we're now going to add the xanthan gum. So xanthan gum is something optional. I'm using it as a thickening agent, but if you are gluten-free, that's something that we wouldn't use in your recipes. And next we're going to add the baking powder. And we're doing 1 tablespoon of those each. And next we're going to do sweeteners. So I'm just talking you through a couple sweeteners. The first one there was Solus. This one is monkey fruit. So each sweetener kind of has its pros and cons. Every one that I'm showing you here is low carb. This is allulose. This is not necessarily my favorite one to bake with, but it is a good one for candies. The one I have here is made from pears, so it's not a GMO version. So it is a good version to use, but the sweetener of choice that I plan to use today is Swerve. It's something available at your local grocery stores typically, and I'm only going to use a tablespoon, as this is not a sweet muffin, more of a savory muffin. So we're just putting in a little bit of sweetener. Next is both onion powder and garlic powder. So we're going to put in a teaspoon of each of those. If you want to make your muffins really strong, feel free to use more of a tablespoon than a teaspoon. And you might also want to add salt. I'm choosing not to add salt to have a salt-free version, but if you like salt and it's okay in your diet, feel free to add it. You also notice I added a half a cup of cheese. Um, so we're going to mix this all together, and right before we bake it, we're going to add a pat of butter to each muffin. So we're going to spread these into 6 muffin tins. Add a pat of butter to each muffin and top with cheese, and bake for about 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And we'll show you what we get.